I want to start today talking about Florida. And yeah, in a certain sense, this is a story about Ron DeSantis, but it is really a story about Ron DeSantis as governor, not Ron DeSantis as the maybe future failed Republican presidential primary candidate, Ron DeSantis, who still, as of this moment, has not announced that he is running against Donald Trump in that Republican primary. I want to show you the texture of the right wing hellscape that DeSantis is rapidly transforming Florida into. Now, full disclosure, I know people will email me, but David, you say these things about Florida and then you go to Florida. Okay. I also said things that are terrible about Donald Trump, and I lived in the United States when Trump was president. So, yes, there are parts of Florida that I think are great, even though they have infrastructure problems as a result of Ron DeSantis and right wing state policy. Those liberal parts of Florida with the good restaurants, as Alex Jones would say. Yeah, I frequently go there, and I don't understand how that devalues in any way the criticism of the policy that DeSantis has put in place. So CNN recently had this list that they put up. Let's take a look at it. In recent times, Ron DeSantis has signed a 6-week abortion ban, ended concealed weapons permits, the requirement for such permits, banned gender affirming care for trans youth, restricted drag shows, expanded the Don't Say Gay law, blocked an advanced placement African American studies curriculum class, and prohibited vaccine mandates. First of, I am going to make two arguments to you here. First argument, all of these bills and laws are terrible ideas. And number two, many of them also directly contradict the stated values of low government intervention, little government involvement, freedom and liberty that they claim to espouse. So let's go through some of these. 6-week abortion ban. DeSantis signed that in a closed door ceremony. I believe it was last month. The bill prohibits physicians from performing abortions after 6 weeks into a pregnancy in most cases. As I've explained before, many women don't even know they're pregnant until the 6-week mark, because when you've missed your period, if you are pregnant, you're basically 5 weeks pregnant. 4, 5, depending on who you ask, or the particulars of that. So it is completely unrealistic, absolutely unreasonable, and it is close to a full abortion ban. It also says that if you want an exception because you've been raped, you have to provide evidence of the rape. Okay. If it's the result of incest or human trafficking, you need to provide evidence, and that only gets you an exception up to 15 weeks. This is, if Roe v. Wade were still in place, it would blatantly violate Roe v. Wade. It's another attempt to control women's bodies and limit choices, and it is insane government overreach. We have the bill that lets you concealed carry without a permit. Okay, DeSantis signed this also last month. This allows gun owners to carry firearms in public without any additional permitting or training required. And it also ends the state requirement that when you leave your home with a concealed weapon, you must have special training. Not even special, just training, I think is what we would call it. It's a gift to the gun lobby. It's a gift to the NRA. It's a gift to the more guns in more places. And it will make Florida less safe. It will make Florida more prone to gun violence and accidents. We then have this package of 5 bills that were passed and signed into law by Ron DeSantis. And here we are talking about a lot of bills that relate directly to the rights of the LGBT community. And here we're talking about a ban on gender affirming care for trans youth. This will prevent doctors from providing hormone therapy or surgery to minors who identify as trans. You could argue that it is a form of denial of medical care, that you're taking away medical freedom, because what we're talking about here is saying, hey, here's people who may need certain services as determined by medical professionals. Instead, you have some Republican lawmakers saying you're not going to be allowed to do it. Restrictions on drag shows. This is a law that will prohibit any establishment that serves alcohol from hosting performances by drag queens or drag kings. You can argue that this is discrimination against a form of artistic expression. You can argue this violates free speech because at the end of the day, we're not talking about grooming or pedophilia or sexual assault or any of the things that they love to say are inextricable from drag shows. It's a form of expression and it's a government banning that. We will see what happens. There's the expansion of Don't Say Gay. Don't Say Gay prohibits teachers from discussing sexual orientation or gender identity, except does it? Are you allowed to say as a female teacher, oh, my male husband? Well, that is a discussion of gender identity, but that's not banned because we know what the real point of it is. It's to censor and silence LGBT voices, experiences, and the reality that all sorts of different types of people exist in our society and culture. There's the bill, in addition to this, which we talked about before, that blocks the advanced placement African American studies class from being offered in public schools. Remember, they framed it as they are forcing this indoctrination onto our children. It's an optional class. In my experience, it's not as though advanced placement classes are exactly super popular. I mean, they often fill, but what I mean is it's not like the entire school is even looking to take these classes. It's a whitewashing of history. It denies many of the struggles of Black Americans, and we've talked about it before. And then lastly, a bill that bans any vaccine mandates by any entity in Florida. That includes businesses, schools, and government agencies. Now, whatever your feelings are about a COVID vaccine requirement, and I'm there with you, if indeed the COVID vaccine doesn't prevent transmission, there is a case to say it shouldn't be required. The counter would be if it reduces the chance of hospitalization and death. For military readiness, it certainly seems like it could make a difference. But my point is, step back from the COVID vaccine. Think about how reckless and irresponsible it is to say you can't have any vaccine requirements, that you can't have any vaccine mandates, when we have so many vaccines that do prevent transmission and are quite literally public health godsends. There's probably some better word I could use that's less religiously oriented. These are bills that are harmful to Floridians, but they're also harmful to democracy. And many of them run directly counter to the stated values that these Republicans claim to espouse, which is they say freedom, liberty, do whatever you want, government only involved when absolutely necessary, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. Except, well, no drag shows and no doctors and patients deciding what's best for them and all these other things. The takeaway is their principles evaporate as soon as they conflict with the political reality that they are trying to fight. One of our sponsors today is Wild Health, founded by two emergency room physicians. Wild Health takes your genetics and your biometrics and your lifestyle data to really tailor suggestions to your exact needs in terms of nutrition and exercise and sleep and supplements and all of those things. And the whole idea is just for you to function at your best. It's really it's a simple goal, but it's a complex goal to achieve. You might have a specific health goal. You want to sleep better. You want to lose weight. You want to stay healthy and just feel good. Wild Health will tailor a care plan with lifestyle interventions instead of medications, which I prefer as an approach. Wild Health will pair you with a care team that includes a board-certified precision medicine physician and accredited health coach who can receive messages from you anytime through the app. It's fully virtual telemedicine. And if you're really trying to reach your top physical and mental condition, try Wild Health's premium program at wildhealth.com/premium, which includes the white glove concierge service, unlimited visits, even higher touch care. These results are really compelling. Patients have seen improvements to diabetic markers, reduced risk of cardiovascular disease, reduction in inflammation, and more. Go to wildhealth.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman for 20% off. The link is down below.